The Accudock Slide Assemblies. I'm going to explain here for you the mechanism and the parts of the slide assembly. Slide assembly basically is allowing us to attach our float to a dock or seawall or pilings such that it holds the dock firmly in place and allows it to go up and down with the tide. Floating docks in general, if they're very large, like large boats, aren't very typical. The smaller the floating dock becomes, the more it tends to be tippy when you walk over to the corners. So we designed our slide assembly specifically for smaller docks where people already had a large number or large amount of dock, had 150 feet of dock going out, but they still couldn't get off their dock down to where their kayaks were or down to where their canoe or boats were. So they wanted a small section of dock but wanted it to be very stable. Well, there is no such animal as a very stable small dock. As you can see here, here's a 4x8, one of our docks. If you just toss that into a water and walk over to the corner, it'd be very likely that you would end up in the water. Just like if you step on the edge of a canoe or a kayak, you're going to fall into a water. Yet if you go into a large boat or a large dock, you don't have to worry about going near the quarters. So what we designed is the slide assembly that would lock onto our dock and hold it very firmly in place. In the past, there's been a number of methods, or a number of ways to actually anchor and hold a dock in place. A lot of you may be familiar with the hoops that go out, go around the piling and hold onto a dock. When a wave comes by, the dock flops around. Just as the 50-foot boat, which is sitting right next to it, will also flop around. The reason why we have no wake zones, so that boats don't get banged around. What the slide assembly does for us is it holds firmly onto the edge of the dock. And when a wave goes by a dock that is held by the slide assembly, the dock smoothly goes up and down when the wave goes by, instead of flopping around. And I will show you what. This is the slide assembly here. It's made up of two parts. Float side, which is a marine grade aluminum tube. And it has these two very large plates that are attached onto our dock and bolted on and hold it firmly in place. Then we have the second part of the slide assembly. And depending on whether you have a piling, which would use this setup, or a seawall that would use the flat plate to go up against the seawall. We insert this tube, attach it to the piling at two different places, top and the bottom. This is an adjustable plate, which allows for no two pilings are ever level, straight, same size. They start at fat at the top, they're skinny at the bottom. You want this pipe to be totally level and plumb. And this plate allows and helps you to make that happen by allowing you to adjust the bottom part to make sure that it stays level. And when it is attached to your piling, it allows it to go up and down with the tide or waves coming by. You'll see here that the piling seawall side is also aluminum inside. We use the PVC as a bushing so that when it is sliding up and down, there's not wear and tear and you're not hearing a bunch of noise and screeching sound.